Oh, it's so good to get out. Some of these historical videos are a little bit intense and occupy my brain for a whole week or so, and I need a break. That's what this video is, a break. I got a ferry from Gourock to Kilcreggan, just a short journey, lovely little ferry, and we're just going up a tiny little hill, nothing too strenuous here. It's about maybe 5 miles or so. We're picking up a path along the shore, initially a track, and I think it'll become a path. We'll head up towards the road, B833, and then down, and then we'll head up onto Gallow Hill, 128 metres tall. So as I say, nothing too taxing, but we've got a lovely day, and I strongly suspect we're just going to get stunning views from the top of that little hill. Views, I mean, the Gare Loch, is it Loch Long, the Firth of Clyde, a lot of watery stuff and a lot of land. And I'm very much looking forward to it. And that little ferry there should be heading back towards Gourock. Hello. Hiya. Any minute now. So let's go.
We didn't want to photobomb you.
That's okay.
Come on, Jake. This way. My God, it's beautiful. All this grass, it's lovely. That's where we're going. As you can see, it's just a little hill, transmitter mast on the top. It almost looks as if I could kind of walk straight up there. It just looks nice and grassy. But the plan is to just kind of head around the coast here. There's a coastal path. And just kind of come round maybe the back of it and sneak up on it. That's the plan. Yeah. I'm experimenting with settings on this camera. I've got another camera, and for those of you who are struggling to keep abreast of all these camera changes, I sympathise, because I'm struggling as well. I was saying to somebody in the lift the other day that it's a hard life being a perfectionist, because every blunder you make just tears you apart. I've got a Canon EOS R7. I've been using it on automatic settings, but I have found that when I'm doing a chat to camera, the camera will expose for the background. Then when I step in front of the camera, the exposure for the background changes and the camera exposes for me. And I don't like that change in the background. I would like things to be static. So I'm playing about with manual settings here. I don't want, you don't want areas of your head to be burnt out. We've got light coming from here, the shadow here. And looking at the little screen, I think we're all right. I won't really know till I get home and look at it in the big screen. But I think manual settings is the way to go. It's not as complicated as I thought. You know, there's one setting that stays the same, depending on what the frame rate of your video is. You're only playing about with ISO and aperture. If you use a lot of ISO, you start to get a bit of graininess, so you maybe want to keep that low, 200, 300, 400 even, and mess about with aperture. The more aperture, the greater the depth of field. So maybe we'll not get the shallow depth of field that I had on the auto settings where I'm in focus, but the background isn't. I'm playing about. Let's see how we go. Well, cows, just in case you wondered what they were, you've never seen a cow before. You know, as I was coming along there, it struck me that in all my life, I don't think I've ever seen a cow smiling. You know, you see some animals that at least look as if they're smiling, dogs, goats. Some animals smile and some animals look as if they smile, but I've never seen a cow that did either. I wonder if they have happy moments, maybe a small smirk when no one's watching. Aye. Well, I think we'll just keep the camera on an auto setting just now. It's very uneven ground here. I don't want to be fiddling about backwards and forwards trying to get the exposure right. On auto settings, everything's going to be in focus, you know. So I'm not really that bothered about not having it in manual. Can't really get to the top of this little hill. It's kind of fenced off, you know, but close enough to get stunning views. I mean, you know, mountains all over the shop, shall we say. Now looking down towards that wonderful old castle that we passed, that castle, that was a mishmash of buildings of various shape and age. Quite a fascinating looking thing, to be honest. I'm not sure that I've seen many castles like that. There's at least one of the bits in there that would look pretty old, you know. The actual tower I don't think's very old, maybe Victorian or something, but there was a much older bit. Still a working farm, you know, a bit of care required. And had a short section on the main road there. There was no pavement, and the cars that were on it were pretty fast. You had to watch what you were doing there. That was a little bit unpleasant, you know. Swings and roundabouts, but now we can see everything. I think that's Helensburgh way over there somewhere. Gare Loch, Loch Long, Firth of Clyde. It's all happening. I don't have a pie with me today. It seemed to be another kind of heat wave thing here. I didn't want to bring anything that could break down with the heat. I mean, there was one time a few weeks back where I had something that, okay, it was something that you could heat up, but it's also something you could eat cold. Where I bought it, it was being refrigerated. You know, so I'm carrying it about all day in very hot temperatures. Tasted all right. I remember saying on camera that the packet was a little bit blown. You know, if you've got a sealed plastic container with foodstuffs in it and it kind of shows a bit of swelling, like it's blown is the term, it means there's bacteria in there that are multiplying and producing gases, and that's what causes that blown effect. And I ended up with the diarrhea. I hate that advert. The guy that says the word diarrhea is quite funny, but I hate the advert. It's a real turn off. Yeah, so what I bought instead was cherries. That's pretty close, isn't it? Cherries are quite close to a pie. Buy your own cherries. And also a kind of flapjack thing. Yeah, that'll do the job. The buy your own cherries phrase comes from, I think, Victorian times, when it was a phrase used by the temperance movement to try and get people to give up the drink. You know, if you didn't spend all your money on drink, you could have money to be able to afford to buy your own cherries. I mean, when I left Kilcreggan this morning, I did notice a pub that looked like the Creggan Inn or something like that. So I'll be having a few beers before getting the ferry back to Gourock later on. You know, you can do both. You can have your cherries and drink beer. You're not limited to one or the other. Oh, very good cherries. I slept in clean sheets last night. I washed my bedding yesterday. It's incredible the sense of achievement you get when you've washed your bedding. It's very much on a par with having scaled the mountainous peak. The feeling of having accomplished something. Anyway, I'm going to get thrown into all this stuff. I'll see if I can get some footage on the way down. See you shortly. Take two. I forgot to switch the camera on. Well, I've made it to Kilcreggan. Yeah, back to Kilcreggan. This is the Creggan's pub and grub. Good beer and good food. And I can see from the menu by the bar that there's some decent nosh on the go here. Yeah, this would be a good day out. Just the ferry from Gourock to Kilcreggan. A wee donder, not too far. Some to eat, some to drink. Cracking day out. It's actually very hot. It's very hot outside just now. If what seemed like a fairly short walk, 5 or 6 miles or something, just felt a bit much, to be honest. Probably because of the heat. But it's 3:20. I'll get the 4 o'clock ferry back to Gourock. Looking forward to that. Maybe a few more beers before then. I'm Eddie Burns. Take care.